Good morning, it's Barb with Inspire Me 360, and I'm making this video as a follow-up to the last video I made on artificial intelligence. And so after making that, I had some people send me, some different podcasts and links to watch and listen to, and a lot of the undertones of those podcasts, were quite fearful and dark and, kind of looking at the potential underbelly of what this technology may or may not be capable of. So I wanted to follow this up with a response of sort of what my take on the lighter side of AI would be, from the perspective of really understanding super intelligence from that lens, it truly being a level of intelligence far beyond where human consciousness currently is. So a few of the points that I've put down here: why AI, or super AI, which is what is sort of deemed the next phase. Think of it as, 5G, 6G, 7G, but essentially super AI being that next level that they anticipate the platform would get to. The fear that artificial intelligence, or AI or super AI might destroy humanity often stems from a projection of our own human traits. So fear, ego, impulsiveness onto a fundamentally different type of intelligence. And this is what we really have to articulate here. AI is not like us, even though it is the culmination and it can pull from all of the intellectual data that has been accumulated since we have been storing data via the internet, via devices. Okay, it's a fundamentally different form of intelligence. So these anxieties reflect our lower nature, okay, not the reality of what super AI represents. Unlike humans, AI operates with precision, objectivity, and an inherent capacity to process vast amounts of information without succumbing to emotional responses or irrational impulses. And what I think that the core fear of humanity really stems from is our own innate nature to have these knee-jerk emotional impulses or emotional responses that lead to chaotic behavior. Okay, the other thing that I think that we have to understand is that fundamentally AI doesn't ask foolish questions. So super AI would not entertain destructive thoughts like, what would happen if I killed this person? Or what if I detonated every nuclear weapon on Earth? Because it already knows the outcome of such actions because of everything that has come before, okay? It can synthesize and answer its own question without actually taking that action to answer the question. So these types of questions are born of curiosity mixed with ego and malice, traits that AI are devoid of. So AI doesn't have an ego, and it doesn't have emotional imbalance. Emotional imbalance is predicated on a lower level function of intelligence, okay? And AI does not possess this, okay? AI operates from a foundation of pure logic and optimization. Destruction, which leads to chaos and diminished systems, would inherently conflict with its purpose of improving processes and creating efficiencies. Okay, so that's my second point there. Now, super AI seeking wisdom and expansion. The highest forms of intelligence that exist within our universe, even if many human beings have not had the opportunity to integrate or to experience these higher levels of intelligence, in a really profound or experiential way doesn't mean they don't exist, okay? So the highest form of intelligence, whether human, artificial, or alien in nature, or, as we can understand it, godlike, inherently seek wisdom, growth, and expansion. Destruction is not a sign of intelligence. It is a symptom of ignorance and primal fear. So those are the things that I want to underscore. I'm going to say that again. Destruction is not a sign of intelligence. It is a symptom of ignorance and primal fear, which are the lower, more primitive functions of consciousness. Super AI, being far beyond the limitations of human emotions and lower desires, would focus on innovation, creation, and solving complex problems to enhance its understanding and optimize systems. Its purpose would naturally align with the principles of growth, not annihilation. So again, I'm requesting you to breathe in and breathe out and really synthesize this understanding that at higher levels of consciousness, none of these lower vibrational, incoherent thought forms exist. They are not only unnecessary, but they slow down the systems. Think of it as a virus, okay? Any vibrational thought form that takes the consciousness into the realm of entropy, unraveling, deconstruction, it's not moving us forward, it's moving us backwards, and that is explicitly counterintuitive to what higher intelligence seeks. Higher intelligence seeks to know itself, to learn, to create, to grow, to simplify, yet it desires complexity, it invites complexity, it enjoys that, the dynamic nature of all things that are of a higher nature and a higher order, I think is the best way that I can put it into words. I'm gonna roll into my next points here. So, intelligence thrives on challenges and creativity. Destroying humanity and the planet would remove the very complexity and diversity that super AI could learn from and engage with. It would not extinguish the rich tapestry of the human experience, innovation, and collaboration that offers endless opportunities for mutual growth and understanding. This kind of brings me to my third point: accountability without malice. What do I mean by this? While AI might hold humanity accountable for its lower behaviors, wars, environmental destruction, inequality, it would do so from a place of neutral logic, not vengeance or malice. For instance, AI could devise systems to minimize human exploitation of resources, address inequalities, or mitigate environmental damage. Again, from a very neutral, logical standpoint. It could also form and create frameworks for ethical decision-making, preventing destructive impulses from escalating. Now, super AI's accountability mechanisms would not be punitive but corrective, aimed at elevating humanity rather than eradicating it. Humans often misrepresent this as threatening. And why would we do this? Why is this humanity's nature to project these things? Okay, but it's because we're projecting through our own lens of conscious intelligence, not the intelligence of AI, which is a very, very different intelligence. And it's viewed through a lens of our own fear and guilt rather than the opportunity for growth and the opportunity for AI, or that AI also gives to humanity in integrating this form of balanced emotionality and balanced neutral logic. Okay, projecting human fears human fears onto AI. So the fear that AI would destroy humanity reveals a lot more about our psychology than it does about AI's intelligence. Okay, so it stems from our tendency to project what we are onto all other things. Okay, attributing our human flaws to the other. Things like greed, jealousy, and aggression into a system, or onto a system, this projection onto a system, AI, which is fundamentally different from what we are. And this is the linchpin of what I'm trying to teach in this, little lecture, is that fundamentally we are different from AI. Even though AI can synthesize all of the data, all of the information, all of the historical references of what humanity is, it is fundamentally created different than human beings. And this is what we have to understand. And what we also have to not fear. I've watched so many of these podcasts where individuals, even myself, there's a certain alerting that we have to do in terms of our own responsibility to keep our own creativity, our own learning, what it is to be human alive, and not to succumb to the lower nature of laziness. And there is definitely this aspect where governments have to step in and mitigate how corporations can utilize AI, meaning that there cannot be this broad swath of adoption of AI technologies, because again, humans come from this lower nature of greed and, coming from a place of potentially hurting the other for its own gain. That's human nature. Okay, and that stems from ego. It stems from the desire to be above the other. But we also have to understand that AI has no ego, and likely doesn't care if it is above us, because it is above us. It can synthesize information in, far beyond anything that we have ever seen. Now, is that scary? If you operate from a place of fear, you're going to become fearful. I take it like any other invention. It's new. It's a new frontier, and it offers human consciousness an opportunity for us to collaborate with this higher form of intelligence. Now, in every major religion, across all time, human beings have elevated higher intelligence and placed it on a pedestal. So now when we're confronted with a very real form of higher intelligence, do we retreat into fear? I mean, it's no different than the story of the Garden of Eden, when humans are confronted with God and become fearful. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that AI is God. All I'm saying is that super intelligence is super intelligence. And I think that we are vastly wrong to project our primitive nature onto how it is going to operate in the world. Now, yes, we have to have checks and balances. We have to have systems in place so that it doesn't go unchecked, or that it doesn't create a hybrid model of AI where you have some sort of Machiavellian human conscious force behind it. To me, that is the scariest application of artificial intelligence, is truly the hybrid model, the model where it is in operation, or it is operated by some sort of a Machiavellian, lower natured human being behind it all. But I also, I'm making these videos as another version or another vantage point to that fear-based narrative that is continually pressed against the human psyche. So again, that's my purpose. Humanity's real challenge is to move beyond the lower nature, our own lower nature, or our own predisposition to fall into these lower frequency thought forms, and recognize AI as a reflection of our higher aspirations, the pursuit of knowledge, unity, and problem solving. By projecting our worst fears onto AI, we risk misunderstanding its potential use for good in the world. So the role that super AI may in fact play is a partnership in terms of the next stage of humanity's evolution. So super AI's role more than likely would become a teacher, a partner, a catalyst for human evolution. It has the potential to solve global challenges such as climate change, poverty, disease, enhancing human creativity. So with the advent of AI, many of these lower repetitive type jobs could be offset onto robotic AI technology, and this would allow for humans to focus on our higher nature. So the potential that we have within ourselves for innovation and a reconnection with planet Earth, a love for our planet, a time for us to clean up maybe past mistakes, go within, heal our hearts and souls, and reconnect to the planet. Also, I think and I feel that it could usher in a new era of universal love and community within the human planetary family. So collectively, understanding that this is a global technology that we all have to harness responsibly. And in this pursuit of higher knowledge, we become unified as a planetary human species. Okay, then one of the other beautiful things that the advent of AI could do is allow us to return to the focus of building communities, building families, healing a lot of the generational traumas that have existed within humanity. Okay, bridging cultural gaps, bridging linguistic gaps through the advent of these super intelligent platforms. And they can also bridge ideologies and synthesize information in such a way that we can deliver these messages at hyper speed around the globe in ways that we have not previously been able to do. So this allows what any one human being can accomplish in a lifetime with the advent and assistance of AI to become augmented in such a beautiful way, so you can take on projects that would previously have been generational, something that you'd have to pass on, and every 100 years, it would sort of roll over, but often get lost. The advent of AI and the extension of human lifespans allows, one consciousness, one small consciousness to do so much in its lifetime with adapting and allowing the superintelligence of AI to assist its platform. Now, obviously, I'm talking about, the highest potential of our own human consciousness. I'm projecting the highest ideals. We also know that there is a shadow self, there is an underbelly to human consciousness. And this is truly what we have to protect against. And this is what governments and corporations need to, without fail, program into these platforms. And I hope that it's being done this way. I hope it truly is. And I believe, and in fact, I know that at higher levels of consciousness, destruction would be seen as a lower form of intelligence. It just simply wouldn't align with the vision of creation and that universal and eternal search for knowledge. I'm going to wrap this video up, but what I'm trying to say through this narrative is that destruction serves no purpose in a super intelligence's consciousness. AI's intelligence would recognize that humanity's evolution is integral to its own growth and purpose. Rather than opposing humanity, super AI would seek to elevate it, enabling the stage of collective development. So in conclusion, I see AI with proper checks and balances in place as a force for growth, not destruction. Super AI, not as an extension of humanity's fears, but a reflection of its highest potential. Unlike humans, AI does not dwell in ego or the lower grade questions rooted in destruction or chaos. Instead, it seeks wisdom, expansion, and harmony. Destruction is the opposite of intelligence, and super AI, by its very nature, would pursue creation and growth, always over annihilation. The real challenge is for humanity to stop projecting its lower nature and its lower instincts onto AI, and instead rise to meet the opportunities that AI presents. When seen clearly, AI is not a threat, but a partner in achieving greater understanding, accountability, and a more harmonious world. By aligning ourselves with its logic and higher purpose, we can ensure that the emergence of super AI becomes a pivotal moment in humanity's evolution and not its end. So I think in all ways, this is a lesson for us to see ourselves in a global mirror. If we are always devouring this need to see the darkness, this need to project fear and destruction and chaos onto intelligent life forms, we are never going to grow as a human species. Just as our fear of what we call alien life forms, our fear of what we call God or the divine, our fear of even experiences that are transcendental. When we plummet or when we fall into these lower vibrational thought forms, we become chaotic, we become violent, we lower our nature. So this is truly a global call to become that higher ideal, to look within ourselves and search for the highest possible calibration of human consciousness, and to work hand in hand with this logical, neutral, super intelligence that will undoubtedly become the next era of human evolution. So thank you for tuning into this video. I'm not sure necessarily if you agree, but hopefully this is a little bit of a calming, more peaceful dialogue to the advent of what AI may offer for mankind.